In the Republican response to President Obama's speech last night, Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal called the stimulus package irresponsible, saying that it will grow government, increase taxes in the future, and saddle future generations with debt. Quote, "Who among us would ask our children for a loan so we could spend money we don't have on things we don't need? That is precisely what the Democrats in Congress just did," unquote. It's interesting, isn't it? After the last 8 years, it would seem that Republicans are hardly in a position to lecture anybody about fiscal responsibility. When President Bush took office in 2000, our national debt was $5.7 trillion. After 2 wars and a lot of other spending under a Republican president, the national debt is now approaching $11 trillion. President Bush, a Republican, ran up more debt for this country than all previous presidents combined. Bobby Jindal acknowledged last night that in recent years, quote, "our party got away from its principles." No kidding. Keep in mind, Jindal, who some see as a possible contender for the Republican nomination for president in 2012, is one of the Republican governors who's talking about rejecting stimulus funding for his state. Jindal says he plans to turn down $100 million because it would require his state to change its unemployment laws. I guess when you're a wealthy state like Louisiana, you don't need no stinking stimulus money. Here's the question. Are the Republicans in any position to lecture President Obama, or anybody else for that matter, on fiscal responsibility? Go to CNN.com/Cafferty File. You can post a comment on my blog.
Jack Cafferty, thank you. Keyboard, just assume it's going to stay there.
It's going to be there forever.
Okay, thanks very much, Abby. Let's go to Jack Cafferty. He's got the Cafferty File. Jack.
What is wrong with these people?
I know.
Huh?
They hit send before they think too much.
But I mean, why would you write that kind of stuff and put it out on, I mean, these are the people we put in charge of making our laws. It's time for a revolution in this country. The question this hour, are the Republicans in any position to lecture President Obama on fiscal responsibility? Jana writes from Yosemite Gateway, California, one of the prettiest places in the world. Hello, Jack. 8 years of George Bush spending like a drunken sailor, and now the Republicans want oversight and financial responsibility. Shame on them. Any lecturing by the GOP should be done in front of a full-length mirror. Julius in Canada writes, the Republicans are the architects of the current crisis. They let the banking and mortgage firms run amok, and now it's up to Obama to try to fix it. Maybe the Republicans ought to go back and look at the last year to see where they failed the American people and go from there. Yes, they need to keep the Democrats in check, but unless they take responsibility for their mishandling of the economy, nobody will take them seriously. Ray in Virginia writes, someone needs to be fiscally responsible. The Democrats controlled Congress the last 2 years, and the federal debt increased $2 trillion. Obama has said that deficits don't matter, so we see where he stands. I only hope the Republicans try to hold spending. If not, we'll be in much worse trouble in the near future than we are now. Tom in Pennsylvania, neither party should be throwing stones. However, the Republicans should just bury their heads in the sand for a while and let Obama straighten things out. Republicans equal deregulation, and that's what got us into this mess. Carol writes, Governor Jindal said last week he'd refuse the stimulus money the government had passed into law on principle. This is a young man who pundits hailed as one of the saviors of the Republican Party. I listened to his rebuttal last night. My husband and I haven't laughed so hard in a while. He's a joke. And Michael in Los Angeles writes, not hardly. Last night, Governor Jindal was sent on a suicide mission, and he knew it. You could see it in his eyes. If you didn't see your email here, you can go to my blog at cnn.com/Cafferty File and look for yours there among hundreds of others. It's probably a good thing I don't know how to do that twittering, because I would get myself in trouble, I have a feeling.
You're going to learn pretty soon, Jack. I have no doubt. Stand by. To our viewers.